Hey guys, what's up today? Today I'm going to be talking about the level 50 PvP gear I use and what I recommend you guys using as well, with some alternatives that you guys could choose, and also the drops and the rates as well and where to get them. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So as we can see here, we can craft each of the items. They just cost a couple of claws, lava lilies, and Malistaire, like gear. But something you should know about this is the claws are kind of like easy. You could just go passively by defeating Malistaire and like his bosses. Lava lilies are pretty easy as well. If you don't have enough, I'd recommend just like taking 30 minutes or so farming them and stuff. There's a couple of good places. I can make a video on that later. And also, just these things are most important though. These are the hardest to get by far because basically they have to be the tier 2. You can't use other schools tier 1s to craft another tier 1, which is kind of crazy because it says any Malistaire Walker. But this is just talking about tier 2s. So if you get a drop from another school that you don't need, a tier 1 drop, then it's basically useless. Unless you make that school later, which you might. So this guy drops the Athame, um, Gurtok Piercer, the ice one. Usually when you go through the Malistaire dungeon, you want to go the other direction to the fire one to like avoid any fights. But um, I usually just do this one. It's pretty easy to solo, assuming you have like decent gear and stuff. All you have to do is like do an AoE and then maybe like a single hit after, and then you should kill. But yeah, this dude drops a Athame. It's actually pretty common. I feel like from what I've seen is he drops, I'd say an Athame every 2 runs or something. But the question is that gonna be tier 1, tier 2, which school, stuff like that, you know. Yeah, not very hard boss, so I would recommend getting the Athame since the Athame's really good, and you won't get another good Athame for like a bit. Actually, maybe in Winter Tusk you can, but yeah, I definitely recommend this boss for the Athame. If you're looking to farm the decks for Malistaire, I'd advise these decks. There's a couple decks where you could use for PvP. These are the decks he drops. So it gives, the reason I like these is because it gives shatter rating, which is also nice if you're trying to like get multiple or use multiple spells for different schools and stuff. It's gonna be Snow Crusher. He's gonna drop all the decks. I'd say it's a little bit more rare than the Thame one. I'd say it's around, I'd say a third of a time. Um, you get, actually, I'd say every other time you get a deck, but the tier 2 decks are a little bit harder to get. So it's kind of like the tier 1 decks. I don't know if I have any. Yeah, here's a. I don't think I have any in this, but like basically the tier 1 decks don't give any shatter rating. They're like this deck, but without the shatter rating, so it's like not as good. So before I forgot to mention the deck boss that I mentioned earlier. He's actually in the Drake Hatchery. This is the Amulet boss. That's pretty good. She drops all the amulets and everything. Vesta Shadow Mark. She's in the Forum. So in the last area of Dragon's Fire. She's not pretty hard to beat. She's a balanced boss, so if you're balanced, that's a little hard, but the amulets she drops are pretty good. I'd say either this is a really good amulet to get because it gives you 2 blades that you don't have to pack in your deck, and it gives you some HP as well. And then yeah, she's just balanced boss with the minions, farmer, go out. I'd say it's actually pretty common. I'd say she drops an amulet every 2 out of 3 battles from my experience. I got all the amulets pretty quickly, so I didn't really have enough time. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys have a hard time farming her, because for me it was surprisingly easier than I expected. So another amulet that you could use instead of the amulet that I just showed you, this is actually going to be pretty easy to get amulet as long as you have a decent amount of gold. Let's see. So over here to the wolf camp, we're in Australand right now, and Winter Tusk. So
Examine my
basically,
traps near the gate
all
to
you
the
really
Grotto
need
Fjord
to
and see who is down
have
there.
unlocked is Winter Tusk, because I'm pretty sure Australian is like one of the first areas of it. Or you need to have a higher level character that can buy this, and then just transfer it through shared bank. Or you can just TP to someone here as well. Yeah, he sells wands, which are like not great wands because they're 52 plus. These amulets are 50 plus, and they give. The reason that they're kind of better is because they give 200 max HP, and this only gives 70. But the thing is, this gives like different stuff. It gives like a cleanse ward, which is, I mean, it's like alright, but it's not the best spell you could get. So it kind of depends on what you want. If you want more blades, then the Vesta or whatever her name was is the way to go. But if you want just more health, then this is always good too. As we can see here, it actually doesn't cost anything. Well, it does, but you just have to have like a decent amount of gold, so like 35,000. But yeah, it doesn't cost anything crafting wise. So yeah, that's also an idea for the amulet. So while you're at the beginning of the Great Spire and you're kind of just doing the solo or with a group, basically what a trick that you could use that I've used every single time is like at the beginning of Dragon's Fire when we're like going there and stuff, you kind of just have to go through here, and then there's a whole bunch of mobs that are basically unavoidable unless you're like super good at it. But yeah, like here, it's almost unavoidable to avoid these, so you kind of like just have to kill these guys and then kill the next guys. There's actually a way that you can skip those two fights with like so easily. Basically, while you're running in to this store, all you have to do is port at the same time. So I port and then I walk in there, and now I spawn at the end of this area. So I skipped that fight. I skipped that fight right there, and now I can just go up here and press X, go up the elevator. Then once I'm up the elevator, I basically just saved 10 minutes or something, because the only problem I've seen with that is if you're teaming up with like randoms and stuff, then they most likely won't know that. So they're gonna do those fights and you're not. So if that happens, either you can do the fights with them, or usually what I do is just I start killing these two bosses and stuff. Um, or if I don't need to kill these two bosses, then I'll just unlock it myself, and then they'll probably be done by the time I unlock it. So then we can go in there together. But yeah, as I said earlier, this was the Thane boss right there. Gurtok Piercer, the ice boss, and the fire boss is actually going to be the ring. This one is not as hard as well. Um, it's kind of like the same thing as the ice, except it's a little better because he doesn't cast shields. So, um, yeah, this dude drops the rings. I'd say it's the same rate as the Thame. It's probably, yeah, once every other fight he drops a ring, and then the question is it tier 2 or tier 1? Okay, so here, we're basically at the end of the Great Spear. I'm not going to do these battles, but basically after these two battles, the door opens, and you have one more battle, which is 4 of the death elites and stuff, and then after those people, then you fight Malistaire. I wouldn't recommend farming this one alone, especially if you're low level, just because it takes way too much time to actually be worth it in my eyes. So I'd only do this if you have like a team of at least like 3, 4, maybe 2, depending on like how well you guys worked together and stuff. But yeah, once you reach Malistaire, Malistaire is the one who drops the hats, the robes, and the boots, and the wands. So he's very vital for farming for the Malistaire stuff. And the thing is, he only drops around 1 to 2 gears per, or I guess not gears, what are they called? I guess, yeah. Backpack, or like 1 to 2 of these each kill. So, but guaranteed 1. Also, he drops like, I think it was around 46 to 50 spellments per kill. So that alone is really good. So if you just farm the Malistaire, and then eventually you'll get the hats, the boots, and wand, and the robe. And I'd advise when you kill Malistaire to get the second chance chest. I'd say around once a day because it resets once a day. Because all you do is throw in 50 crowns, you get 50 more spellments basically, and then you get another second chance at whatever you need. But after that, it goes up to 100, so it's not as good. Okay, so here, I just defeated the Malistaire and all that. Let's see, I'll show you the drops and everything. All you gotta do is just click through that a billion times and get the drops. So, 2, 3, yeah. So it's like a ton of drops. As we can see here, I got one of the life boots, which is pretty good. So I got 1 of the drops, bunch of spellments, pretty good spellments too. Because it's rank 2 through 6, so it doesn't drop rank 1, which is kind of nice. Some good jewels as well. Those weren't great because those were mana. Yep, more spellments. Oh, okay, so just the boots. And then here, I'm just gonna throw in 50 more crowns. I can see I got the balance hat. But also I got more claws, more jewels. Oh, I got the balance wand as well from that. And yep, we got the balance hat, more spellmans. So the second reroll is so worth because it gives you literally a whole bunch more spellmans just for 50 gems. Plus it gives you another chance to get more gear as well. So yeah, more spellments. Then yeah, kind of just do that, and then I would advise just quitting and entering back in. Then you're back at the start, ready to team up. But yeah, I'd say, let's see, unless I'm forgetting anyone, that is all. Yeah, I'd say that's yeah, all the gear that I use for level 50 PvP. I'm planning on doing another video just showing the pets and all that for PvP for each specific school, because what I found is actually like different schools have different pets. So I'm gonna make a video on that soon. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and don't forget to leave a like and all that, and subscribe if you want to see more.